2, 3. I hope. Good morning, everyone. Good evening, wherever you are. Jill, we're so happy that you're here. And there is a beautiful entry point. Yes, today is the 1st of September. Usually the children in the country are starting the first day of school. And sometimes in this season, this is the autumn here, so there's a transit. And sometimes people are moving from place to place, and there's a process of sorting things before we move on in life. And when we sort things, natural process is happening. It's quite mechanical, because when we sort things, there is a remembrance which is happening. There's a touching or relating to an image or to some stuff which is lies at home, and we give it a lot of attention, or partially attention, and suddenly there's attention going to this brook or to this forgotten stream of time. So it's like sometimes confusing or heavy, or it just brings memories also. It's natural. Just this is part of life. And sometimes we move, and sometimes we change location, and we take what is necessary for the moment, and the rest is just staying there. It's easy like that. It doesn't carry a lot of weight. You don't see Craig because, Jill, because it's now, how do you say, it's broadcasting on YouTube. There's a lounge here. If you open YouTube, yes, it's supposed to show our conversation, supposed to appear on YouTube, and there's a chat. If you can open parallel, like if it's possible for you to open parallel window or parallel PC, you will be able to see the chat you see. Here is Yanis. Good evening, Yanis. We are very, yes, happy to see you, Yanis. How do you do? You can unmute and speak, share, and ask everything that you like. Yes, there's a chat also on YouTube if you would like to listen or to write something on YouTube. Yes, Yanis, we shall be happy to hear your voice, your question. How do you do this evening? I hope you can see the chat. Yes, Jill, I hope you can see the chat. Yes. Yes, Jill is here. Yes, happy to see you. So the children here are starting their new year. In the next year, the next class. And there's reorganization. So for the children, it's like maybe happy day because they're going to meet their friends, yes, after they did not see them for a while. But sometimes it's not really happy day because they have to club and to store all their summer vacation. So there is a downsizing process. The games, the infinite hours of playing with friends, yes, are over, and there's like natural pouring into the frame of schooling, of hours. There's like strict timeline for them. So I saw today part of the children in the bus because we were traveling in the same time. So part of them were like happy to see friends, and part of them was so destroyed just from this process to go back into the line, to go back into this frame of times of hours and class, and let's say 40 children or pupils in a class. And it's a friction. It's a very friction day with a lot of friction. Yes. So it is well reflected. Jill or Yanis, would you like to ask any question? Please feel free to ask if you have anything to share. At the moment, the neighboring families are renovating their houses, and they're using like drilling or removing tiles, and there's a process of like removing tiles and drilling into concrete and to the walls. I hope you're free from this sound. So our topic is non-duality, which means non-to, not to. Because what... Yes, thank you, Jill. So whatever appears, yes, is of space in time, and this is the matrix. Yes, this is the manifestation. But we're speaking of not to, non-duality. So at the moment there's a season here, there's an autumn, the trees slowly are removing or giving their leaves away. The days are getting shorter, it's still very, very hot. And this is appearance. A season is appearance. The next season will be winter, so we shall see a different garden. Many of the trees will let their leaves out, they will stay bare. It might be rainy, we might see snow. It is a different appearance. So when we look, let's say, at the calendar, there are 4 seasons, and each season appears differently. Yes? Each season is a phenomenon, but the prime energy or the source is not of all the appearances. We look outside and we see seasons, and this is natural. There's also behaviors of ours during the day, during the weeks, during the months. And sometimes we see behaviors that we really wonder about. So also those behavior of what we are seeing is an appearance. This is not who we are. This is not who we are. Because sometimes also there's coming a judgment, but why this and that happened, or why did I say that? Or something comes in the moment, doesn't happening, it comes spontaneously. Yes, and this is the happening. Yes, it comes from the source and it appears or expresses itself in the manifestation, but any of the manifestation is not the source. There is a beautiful question about the Torah, and many laws and midrashim are being written about the first word of the Torah. Bereshit starts with bet, with duality. And there's a question why the Torah starts with bet, why there's with the letter bet, its value is two, and duality. And the more you read, there's discussions, and we can only speak, and this is one of the major claims, yes, of those who are translating, explaining the Bible. We can only speak about what? About the manifestation. Meaning we can only speak about duality. About non-duality we cannot speak because it is unspoken. Why? Because it's still what? Silence. Is it understood, Jill? There's always questions. Yes, Jill.
Yeah, I understand. So that would be why it didn't start with a left.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so okay.
Yes. It starts with a letter bed, or with two, or with duality, because we can only speak about the manifestation of space and time. We cannot speak of the nomenon. We can't, because it's in the realm, so to speak, of silence. It's unspeakable. This prime or the source energy is unspeakable. The infinite, yes, is unspeakable. Only the finite is speakable. Therefore, the Torah starts with bed. The storytelling or the words are in a way mirroring space and time or duality. Or they speak about the manifestation. The language cannot express what is not yet manifested. Therefore, silence holds everything. I'll give you an example. It happened today. Those things you don't expect that it will happen. I was in a place that there's like how do you say, outdoors equipment. Oh, like generally wearing when you're in at movement, so it's like flexible to move. So, and I was looking, because at this time of the year it's between seasons, so not everything is staying. So what is left is either very very small sizes or very very big sizes. So the comb in the middle was missing. So I went to return what I tried to wear, and there was like two people in the aisle in the shop, and I saw like briefly like a mother and a son. It seems to me, yes, like a son above 20. Good morning, Rodrigo. We're so happy that you're here. And a mother speaking to each other. So I was going in the aisle when they were standing also as well, and then I circled to see if there are other options, and then I returned, and at the blink of my eye, I noticed that the young man, he did not have an arm. He was having a hook. A young dude, tall, elegant, and his mother, elegant people. And I noticed that he did not have an arm. He was having a hook. And it was like, of course, what can you say about that? This is like silence that holds everything. I did not speak to them, but it was maybe obvious that there's like 2 years war here of 7 frontiers, and this guy, it seems it's like intuitive. I did not ask, yes, that he lost his arm in one of those frontiers. So we don't have why do I share this? We don't have a free will. What to give you an example of today. It seems, yes, that there was a movement for the shop, so to speak, in outdoor dressing or something, but the real meeting point was to notice this. And what can anybody say about such a... What can someone say but silence holds everything. So the eyes are saying, or the picture which is being reflected is like this young, handsome, elegant people, very elegant people, without an arm, with a hook. It's a new hook, or like all kinds of some kind of prothese or prothesa, how they call it, parallel health. And what was amazing, that not the fact that, so to speak, the natural arm that people are born with, though it seemingly to the eye, the physical eye, was missing, and instead of this natural born arm, there was a hook. There was no lack. Do you understand? To the eye, you see someone with a hook. So to speak, there is a missing arm. It's not the natural appearance, let's say. It's like replacement with the metal or so on. But to the eye, there was a missing arm. Everything is complete. Do you understand? It's just, even if we don't understand at the moment, this is what happened this morning. Any questions, any thoughts? Rodrigo, Jill, Yanis. Rodrigo, we're so glad that you could join those sessions. I hope you can speak. I hope that you can hear us. There's also a recording on YouTube. I hope it is helping. If you want to share something or to ask, please feel free about everything. If there's a Zohar session that you joined together last week, you had a meeting. If you want to ask about the Zohar or something that you read or an experience, yes, please feel free. In the word Bereshit, the first three letters, bara, which we translate as created or took out or produced, the letters are bet, resh, aleph. Bet, resh, aleph. It when we decode it to numbers, it's 2, bet, resh, 200, and aleph. So if we want to decode the numbering, yes, from the 2, from the bet, there's resh, 200, that were taken out from what? From where? From the aleph, from the source, from the unity. Again, the word Bereshit, yes, we can read it as Barashit. Bara is created, took out, produced. And shit is like 6 in English. So what does it mean to create, to take out, to produce? If we look only at the numbering as binary does, bet is 2, resh is 200, so 2, 200, that. This is the field. the matrix, that are coming from bara, from the Aleph. Yes, from the source. And in this case, the Aleph is mute. We say bara, created, produced, took out. When the bet has a sound of a, ba. The resh has a sound of a, ra. But the Aleph, we are writing the Aleph, but the Aleph is mute. Yes, the source is of a silence. It's not speakable. We cannot speak of the source. There is no word, nor name, no sound that can catch or conceive the infinite. Again, there is no name. If there is a beautiful poem called The Tree of Life by Luria, and at the end of the poem he says, there is no word, no name or a sound that can capture, that can conceive the infinite. There is no phenomenon, word, name, form, sound that can capture, that can conceive the infinite. It's inconceivable. Yes, we cannot speak of the infinite. We can only speak and sing and play the finite. Because once there's a sound, the sound appears in time and space. When we say do, yeah, so it's entering the realm of time and space. So how the sages, speaking of the creation, there's first of all a concising, downsizing or concising, depends on how you want to look at it. Yes, the infinite. What does the infinite do to create or to enable the phenomenon? The infinite concises itself to the nothingness. Yes, to the nothingness. And there's a space, yes, in which the worlds could appear. Yes, so before the new life is coming, or before the phenomenon of now people are moving, there are people moving apartments, they're relocating, they're moving to other countries and so on, to other states. There is or the children now visiting school after the great summer vacation. There is what happens, the infinite concises itself, minimizes itself to the middle point. Yes, we say middle point, to the nothingness. We were speaking about this on Saturday. So the infinite concises itself, minimizes itself, pulling itself in. Yes, the infinite, the non-finite, concise itself to the middle point, to the nothingness. Yes, and there is a space. Yes, by concising itself, and it's not just itself, it's the light basically, because infinite is marked by the light or consciousness, depends. Concise itself to the middle point, and now there's a space, empty space. Good afternoon, Abigail. There's an empty space in which all the phenomenon, all the appearances, all the manifestation can appear. So this is how the sages speak about the creation, but this is also natural, happening in our life all the time. What happens when someone needs to move, let's say, a place, apartment or so, there is a concising or downsizing or minimalism. There are different names, yes. So there's pulling in, so to speak, emptying, yes, emptying the space. And it seems to be bare. Suddenly the whole apartment feels bare, without furniture, without paintings, without people's, let's say, keys and bags, all white, without plants, all what radiates life that people are usually hovering, or those things are hovering when there's life in the space. Yes? Yes, Jill? So moving and movement is the infinite minimizing in all of us. Yes, yes, yes. Whenever we move, yes, yes. This is what happens. So it's not a personal process. It's very good, Jill, that you asked the question, because this is not a personal process. Again, moving, concising, this is not a personal, though people relate to it very personally because they need to box. Sometimes people move from office to office, or Fernando was sharing with us. Yes, this weekend sometimes people are used to be partners in let's say, in offices. Yes, and they marry and they have to move to another state, and suddenly they pack up, their boxes, and so this is a natural process. It's not personal. So what happens? Let's go to this apartment where people are just about to leave and to try a relocation somewhere else because things are happening. Like I mentioned, this happening in the morning as well. So suddenly this apartment that used to hold sofas, guitars, lamps, plants, furniture, books, cups, cornflakes, clogs, hats, puppets, suddenly when we pack those things, suddenly we look around and it's like, oh, hello. There's a hollow sound of emptiness because the furniture, the curtains, the blankets, they absorb the sound, so everything is soft, and suddenly you notice that everything is bare. Nothing is, if people are really what we might say hard living, when they even take the pictures, the clocks, sometimes there are shelves with books and speakers and all of this environment that surround us when we live somewhere. Life is happening. So suddenly everything is folded in boxes and everything looks very bare. And sometimes for some people, it's a saying goodbye, or it's a sad moment, or they shed a tear, or they have all kinds of memories where life used to be in a way happening, but now no. Where is this life? Are folded in boxes. Some of the boxes we don't need for the next page in life, so we give to the neighborhood. So we put next to the palms, and people are picking up on. But there's the something is happening inside of us when we are packing, like, let's say, pieces of life in boxes. Yes. Weinreb says something very beautiful about this, because Weinreb was moving in many times in his life. He lived in different places, in different locations, in different under very different circumstances, under the Germans, in concentration camps, in the Dutch jail. He lived in Switzerland. He lived in Southeast Asia, yes, as well. So he says whenever he leaves his house and move on in life to a different location, whenever he calls it a little dying, yes, a little death, because we're clapping, we're boxing, yes, and just accept it. Yes, there is no need to fight with ourselves in this moment. There's a sense of death, of finite, so to speak, like the tree shades is like yellow leaves and brown leaves in the autumn. So accept it. Accept it that this is what there is. But it is funny because now we're boxing in the apartment, yes, and we give away what is not necessary. But in a way, they're not the next moment is in a way is hidden from us. So it's not happening. So there is a sense of maybe sadness, or maybe I would say not remorse, but some kind of kvetch. You know what kvetch, like I'm pressed inside. Yes, because we have to do this. We have to box everything in. But we're not yet exposed to the new moment in the new house with the new possibilities. So those passages which are happening to us, yes, it's not because someone has a certain decision. It is just infinite moving through us. Yes? Yes. This is how it is. And it's not personal, though. Whenever we box everything in or we give away, and suddenly we see the walls and there's no paintings and there's no jackets hanging there and there's no palms anymore. Yes, it feels like, what was I doing here? What's happening? It feels like, yes, but it's not personal. Just, it is what it is. And the next moment will be. I remember that when I moved to Berlin, I understood that I did not take any picture, yes, with me, nothing, not pictures, no photos, nothing. Just what is needed, and a little, how do you say, very little suitcase, and it said, welcome new life. Yes, not to look back, just welcome new life. This is it. And suddenly life, it's funny. Because when you live in certain place, what we consider as our life is a surrounding, the apartment, the house. If people have gardens, they consider it's natural. Yes, this is my life, my garden, my entrance, my gate, whatever. Once you move on, or you pack a little suitcase with you, a little tiny suitcase, and go, and suddenly you see that life is just in this maybe suitcase, maybe less. You know, when there was earthquake and we just went out with a bottle of water, we just left everything and ran 3 kilometers east, far from the shore, at 3 o'clock in the morning with a bottle of water, with nothing. I mean, only water, and this, how do you say, the palaces, the apartment, it's not considered even. It's just there's life in the moment. It's not what another, let's say, sphere of life. Yes, Jill, so freeing and exciting to let go of many things. Yes, there is a, let's say, now there's this point as life, yes, and this is what people live around, yes, in this place, in this location, the furniture, everything. And this comes from the infinite, the wave or the movement, and we pack things which are binding, how do you say, binding us, yes, to the moment and before, and we just club them in for the next moment. So yes, it's like a mixed process, but with the clapping, with the boxing in, there's like also, wow, it's just free from this, and who knows what will be the next. but we need this emptiness. It's not in our decision. This is how it is. This is how life is. This is not a personal decision. This is not a personal process. This is how it is. We pack, close, tuck, continue with the bare necessities, and life will stream. Life will bring with them what is needed in the moment, to the current moment, to the people. There's no need to worry, to have any stress about anything, not about paintings, not about books, not about furniture, whatever comes to your mind as might be a lack. Yes, at the moment when you pack, it's a mixed moment in terms of emotions and sentiments, and also, yes. So just happy in a way. You see, this is not who we are. Yes, there is a manifestation of life, yes, in certain space, state, for, yes, this is the manifestation. This is an appearance, but there's also whatever appears also disappears. So there's disappearing of disappearance, or boxing in everything, and there's emptiness, and new life is coming. Yes, there is no need to think. How do you say, to think like the tank? There is no need to tank in this moment. There is no need of any heaviness to go into heaviness, or to deep gravity around the moment. This is what there is. The moment is like boxing in to that new space and new appearances. Because look at this. Sometimes, yes, at a certain place, at a certain time, all appearances, possible appearances, have occurred. It's like you have completed reading a book, so you close the book. When we are reading the book is open, and there's a lot of manifested lines in the book, manifested stories, descriptions. Each time we turn a page, there's a new manifestation. Once we complete to read the book, we close the book. So we are concising those realities, yes, appearances, stories. Close the book. Yes. And if we're interested, we open a new book. And there's a new reality is popping out, new possibilities, new stories, new manifestation. This is what is happening now. So when we are moving in life, yes, it's just to, yes, to box in or to close this book. That the next book is already waiting for us to, yes, to open it. There's a beautiful parallel happening with the Torah. Yes, because at this time of the year, slowly we are reaching the last weekly portions of the Torah. And the Torah is written on a scroll. So all the 5 books of Moses are written on one scroll. If you had seen this in movies and synagogue, it's a big scroll. It has like 2 stands or 2 sticks or so. Yes. And now, since we are reading in Hebrew from right to left, when we are reaching the end of the year, the autumn, there's like not many portions are left to be read. So we are reaching in a way the left, the left part. Left in English is also left, which is not right. Yes, and also what is left from the main. Yes, it has 2 meanings, I guess. Left, or like the rest of it, and left, which is not right, opposite to the right. Yeah? So what is left is like very little few verses or weekly portions before we complete the Torah, the fifth book of Moses. And when this is happening, we reach the end, so to speak. So most of the scroll, yes, moved to the right, because we are now reading the left, what is not right, but what also is the remaining few lines, the end of the fifth book. But the Torah never ends, it's infinite. So what is happening? So when we reach the other end of it, the left, the rest, yes, there's only the stick and the last few verses, we scroll back, we start with the left, and we roll, yes, we roll the paper, and it's a process. You cannot click a button like on a phone application starts with Bereshit. It's a process to scroll back, yes. Two people are doing it because it's very heavy. It takes what it takes. They don't also touch the letters, and so they use gloves or so. It's a process. And then when they will reach the right side, Yamin, yes, we shall start from Bereshit. We shall read the Torah again from Bereshit Bara, but it's different life, because it's different present. It's a different spontaneity. I don't know how to say that. Why do I mention this scroll of the Torah as opening and closing a book? Because this is our life. There is no closing without opening. If we're closing one apartment or boxing in, there is no without. It's just infinite. So there is no need to have a remorse. There is no need to rotate so much around this process. It's just what it is. This is nature. Infinite moves through us. Once we understand that this is not personal, the infinite is impersonal consciousness. The infinite is impersonal consciousness. When we say this is my story or my life, this is already what the brain does. Says this is mine, this is the separation. This is the separation. When we say this is my life, this is my story, this is my movement, this is already a narration and translation, interpretation. And then once it is my story, it's about my life, there's an immediate separation from the source. But again, when we look at it as impersonal experience, there is no disconnection. And there's no sadness, because this is what it is. And there's a lot of life in this moment. Because if it's my story and I have to pack everything in boxes, it's very sad and heavy. It brings memories and attachment to those books, to those furniture, and those people. Many stories, and takes a lot of time and space and gravity. But if it's impersonal, so this is what it is. Imagine that you are packing someone else's apartment. So if you were asked as a moving apartment to pack somebody's else apartment, so books in this box and kitchen utensils in this box, and you write what it is, and then you don't have attachment because it's just a service that you do. It's very simple. And if you see this, or if we see this infinite consciousness moving through us, it's great happiness and relief from the bondage of self, because there isn't any, it's just a manufactured product. Yes, yes. You're just packing somebody else's life. Yes. Because there isn't personal life. There isn't names. It's all manufactured. So whenever we identify with the name, with the process of moving, and there's my story, I have to pick. It's heavy, but if just, you know, if it's somebody else, it's lighter. It's lighter because the name doesn't. Somebody else. This is the great understanding. Any questions or sharing that you would like to have? Yes. 1 second. Yes, Rodrigo.
Hello, Eti, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How do you do today?
Oh, I'm fine, Eti. I'm very happy to be here, listen to you, and you with Yanis, Jill, and Abigail. It's a very, how can I say, very joy moment in my life, be here today.
Hello, Rodrigo.
Eti,
Yes, I'm
can
trying
you hear
to.
me?
I'm trying. Can you increase the volume? Can Abigail
Hello,
and I'm trying.
can you hear me?
I'm trying.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
I don't
can.
know if now
Yes,
if you can
it's
listen.
better. Yes,
Yes.
it's better. Yes, thank you.
Okay. No, Eti, I'm very happy to be here, listen to you, and with Yanis and Jill and Abigail. And Eti, I have a question. I don't know if may I ask to you? May I
Yes,
share some thoughts?
yes,
Well, Eti, listen, your story about the young man who was missing an arm that you tell to us in the beginning of the class, but there is no lack in him. I remember a story, a Jewish tale called the tale of the seven beggars. I don't know if you listen about
yes,
the. In few words, the story tells of seven beggars. Each one of them had, um, let's say, a disability. One couldn't walk, another couldn't see, another couldn't hear, and so on. And the most interesting part in this story, each of these disabilities actually corresponded to an abundance in the spiritual world, um, which for some reason, or precisely because it was so abundant, couldn't manifest in this physical world. Uh, I don't know if you are familiar with this story, but I don't know if you could somehow relate this to the episodes of the young man that you saw today, um, because how can I say, sometimes, and now I speak about the my daily life. Sometimes we notice that some people that look like poor or lived in poverty, for example, in fact, they are so rich in the perspective of the spirit. So my question is, how can we explain that? How can we explain the fact that material poverty or material lack doesn't mean uh, that doesn't mean that there in the spiritual there is this lack. Or sometimes we see someone which look like rich or material rich, but it's not meaning spiritual abundance. I don't know if you understand what
Yes.
I tried to say, because because there is a relation um, between the manifestation, let's say the Asia world, and the other plans, the plan of emanation, creation, formation, a kind of proportion, a kind of, how can I say, like a image in a mirror, something like that. But sometimes this relation is exactly the opposite. And how can we deal with this or explain this? Thank you very much, Etienne. Sorry for
Thank
my
you. Thank you for the question.
the
So
way. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
thank you for being here and thank you for asking. Yes, sometimes very, very rich people with very huge bank accounts are very, very poor in spirit. Yes. So there's a lot of manifestations of digits or assets. Yes. There's in the appearance, in the manifestation, there's a lot of quantities, money and cars and yachts and ships and airplanes, but in the spirit, it's sin. Yes, it's sin. Yes, there's a beautiful in the Zohar when you read the first paragraph in the Zohar. It says it's opposite. It is opposite. It says the Zohar that who is greater here in the manifestation, in the appearance, is very little in the spirit, and opposite. Like you mentioned in the seven beggars, there are people that might look very poor or without, they don't live in rich neighborhoods, or they don't have gadgets or fast cars. New, I don't know, 1817 phone. I don't know what they have today, but the rich of spirit. And how do we know that they are rich in spirit? They just share. So the richest people on earth, they have great bank accounts with many digits, but they cannot share anything because they feel it's theirs. And if they will share something, it will be on their account. Yes? But people who don't relate to this, they share and they don't feel a lack. There isn't any lack whatsoever. There's a beautiful story in the Zohar. One of the tales that's, yes, there's three friends are walking one day next to very, very high mountains. And they speak to each other. One of the, let's say, the road happenings. There are many tales in the Zohar that there are road stories or happening on the way to somewhere. So this is one of those stories. Three friends are walking one day, speaking and asking themselves questions to be awake and so. And suddenly from those three dark mountains appears someone who did not eat and did not drink for a long time, and he was very, very exhausted and tired. So one of the three offers him a bit of like a slice of bread and a bit of water, and he says, no, I cannot eat. He says, though he was very exhausted because he did not eat for many days. He says, no, I cannot eat from your food, the piece of bread. So this man that offered him the food and the piece of bread, he was just laughing. He says, there isn't any term which is called my food. There's just piece of bread, eat it. There isn't any my bread or my food and you cannot eat my bread or my food because there isn't any mine. This is the whole of it. It's a similar story. If it's my, yes, people would not like to. If people conceive it, yes, the cars, the airplanes, the boats, if they experience it or conceive it as mine or theirs, they don't wish to share it. And also, the more they accumulate, it's never enough. They always, and this is the fear that comes with mine or mine. My, M-Y, or mine, M-I-N-E. When it's mine, when the definition about life is mine, my, yes, my life, my garden, comes fear with it. What is the fear? That there never will be enough. If it's my, there's never enough. But if it's not my, it's open to everyone to share. Yes? So the most rich people cannot share anything because they feel it's theirs. So they close everything in. And with it comes also the fear because they never feel that they will have enough. So they immediately want more. Yes? Yes, yes, yes. Rodrigo is writing, great, the personal perspective is narrow. And so we became poor. Yes, yes, yes. So there isn't any mine. There is no my life, my story. This is why we sit here and share. There is no limitation because whenever we share, there isn't any fear because it's not my. My always come with borders, with limitations, with finite. And in the finite, there's never enough. There's always hunger. Remember in the Bible, the hunger is always associated with descending to Egypt. There's never enough, so we need more airplanes. There's never enough sheep, we need more sheep. There is not enough horses, we need more horses. More and more and more and more. Yes? But the more we have, the more there's never enough, so we need to hold more. And it makes people so exhausted and sad and full of fears that somebody will rob them or will take from them, so they build walls to protect what. But again, we return to the same source. But about sharing, there is no problem. There is no problem whatsoever. And this is the world of spirit. There's enough because it's infinite. Of course it's enough because it's infinite. Of course there's no lack because it's infinite. Only in the finite dimension there's like thoughts like there's never enough and we need to protect and we cannot share because it's finite. It will reach its end. Yes? But if it's infinite, share it. It's not personal, impersonal consciousness. Thank you so much, dear friends, for being here with us. Do you have any other question? Abigail, Jill, Yanis, Rodrigo, please feel free to ask if anything comes to you. We have a new friend, Bassam, yes, on YouTube. If you have, yes, Basim, yes. If you have any question, feel free to ask. If not, we would like to wish everyone a very good week, very good season, smooth moving in life, from page to page, from book to book, from state to state, from location to location. Wherever the spirit is needed, it will go. So, תודה רבה, שבוע טוב, and see you soon here on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we shall have a live broadcast by OBS on YouTube. Thank you, everyone. And Yanis, good luck with this week. We wish you all the best, good health, and beautiful life. Toda and shalom.